We have Bonnie from Lake on the line. Bonnie from Lake, what is your question?
Yes. If the Marine is deceased, can the widow file for the case, Camp Lejeune?
I can assume what she was going to ask is, would she be eligible to have a lawsuit herself? Merida, if you would, go ahead and answer that question that we think that Bonnie was going to ask here.
I do think that was the question. And yes, the law does allow a person that's living whose relative died to bring an action for, that's called wrongful death. It does allow you to bring an action for wrongful death. Now, let me give an example. In Mississippi, if someone dies and they have a spouse and children, then that spouse and children are all the wrongful death beneficiaries. But any of those wrongful death beneficiaries could institute the legal action. So we have a lot of individuals, a lot of Marines and some dependents who died from both presumed and diseases that are not presumed, and we are handling those cases.
Mike, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, you know what I would add is we're seeing it so frequently because look, it's an extended period of time, right? And a lot of those folks, one, they would be elderly now. You're dealing with something that happened in the 50s and 60s, and then you had these horrific illnesses. So a lot of the times we are going to be dealing with widows and children and grandchildren. So I mean, it is absolutely terrifying. But yes, we can. Dependents can, and they should. They absolutely should bring a claim against the government, just like if it was any wrongful death claim here in Mississippi, a car wreck or a trucking wreck or something like that. It should be treated exactly the same.
I'm sure these folks at home are wondering, how much is it going to cost me to file one of these claims, or if I get involved in one of these lawsuits? Merida, if you would speak to that first.
Well, it's not going to cost anything. These are the types of cases that we're going to do on a contingency. Most people know what that means. That is, in order to be paid, we have to win. And if we do not win, then the client will not owe us or owe any cost. Of course, before we file a lawsuit, we're going to make sure that we have a good case. We will be very careful about that. So it won't cost them a penny.